when you live in Bristol, trust me, you know that our council, our local government, does not give one crap. Potholes, divots in the road, that kind of thing. They could not care less. Welcome to the channel. I'm sat currently on Leap Valley in Downend. It is an absolutely glorious Sunday. It's about 23 degrees out here in the shorts. Get a tan on my legs. Yeah, rode all the way here in about 16 minutes from my house in Wormley, so that was pretty good. And I thought, and I wasn't actually planning on making a video because I brought bloody helicopter. I had the GoPro in here. And I thought, you know what, I'll make a video. And I thought what we can do is do a video on where I think this is placed in kind of the current field of electric cycling. Because I thought that might be helpful to someone. Because I've had the opportunity to ride a fair few bikes, and I thought give my impressions of those in comparison to these. So let's get stepping, shall we? And today, thank God, I did remember my sunglasses. A little bit of off-roading, guys. It's always fun. So yeah, as I said, I was at Leap Valley in Downend. Gorgeous bit of greenery, nice place to go on a walk. I literally used to live just over this road, and it was awesome because I could literally just go on a cycle or walk whenever I liked somewhere that was actually nice to look at. So guys, what we're going to do is I'm going to rank not by brand, by type. Okay, type of bikes, where I think they sit in the hierarchy of what makes a good bike, what makes a bad bike. And what we're going to do, we're going to start at the very bottom, the bike that I simply just would not ride, and then go from there. First of all, guys, the very bottom level is anything foldable. These foldable bikes, bottom of my list. And I've tried a few, and they're just horrible. They never seem sturdy enough, you know, because they always have like a joint down here where they fold in half, and you get quite a bad rattle. And obviously I want to preface this with, I haven't ridden every single foldable electric bike on the market, but the ones I have, there's always that rattle. And honestly, I understand why people buy them. You know, if they got like a little apartment or something like that, they can fold up, put it in a cupboard or something. And yeah, I totally understand that. But for me, the main important thing about a bike is how comfortable it is. How long can I sit on it and ride and not be in pain and not be annoyed? And for me, foldables fell on both of those categories. And that's probably because of me. You know, I'm a big fella. I need something with a big wide seat, all that kind of stuff. So maybe that's me, but to be fair, this is my list. That's the very bottom. The next on my list, sorry to say, is mountain bikes, MTBs, mountain bikes that have been converted into electric bikes. Now, I understand this is probably the cheapest way to get a decent electric bike. Say you've already got a good bike, you've already got you know, a Boardman or you know, a Saracen or something like that, and you know, you go, oh, you know what, I just want a little bit more power, so you whack an electric motor, battery, all that kind of stuff on it. Or you go for the ones that, you know, Halford sell, where they've converted them into electric bikes. Yeah, I just don't like them. The problem with them is I used to have one. I used to have a Saracen, a Vengeance, a Carrera Vengeance e-bike from Halford's, and it was okay, you know, but it just always feels like a mountain bike that's been converted. It just never feels like an electric bike. And the thing about a mountain bike as well, what makes a mountain bike is that it's strong but light at the same time. Yeah, for me, what makes a mountain bike is it's strong, but it's incredibly light. Like, mountain bikes meant to be light. You can pick them up with, you know, your little finger. And as soon as you put all the electrics on it, that's no longer the case. It's now a heavy bike. And you think, if you're going to get a heavy bike, you might as well get, you know, go whole hog, get something like this. And also, my problem with mountain bikes, and just those kind of bikes in general, is they're kind of designed around a place that actually gives a crap about their roads. When you live in Bristol, trust me, you know that our council, our local government, does not give one crap about sorting out potholes, divots in the road, that kind of thing. They could not care less. So you're on these tiny little wheels, you're on these tiny little thin wheels, and then suddenly you'll come up against a pothole that's bigger than your head. Probably some people are screaming like, yeah, but Jay, you can just get bigger wheels on there. You know, just put a 4-inch tyre, put a 4-inch wheel on it, like I've got on these. But I'm coming from the standpoint of out of the box, you know, out of the box. And I'm sure there's mountain bike versions of electric bikes that come with 4-inch tyres, but I'm just talking about the usual suspects that you get and you see inside a store. So that would be the next one up. Just above those, only just, is fat tyre bikes, but with 250 motors. Because, you know, you get all the advantages of a fat tyre bike. You know, they're comfortable, they usually have at least front suspension. You get a more comfortable riding position, so it's just all-round comfort really. You get a big tyres, you usually get, you know, on them as standard, you get like a, you know, a nice display, a throttle, all that kind of stuff. And then also the ability to attach attachments a lot easier because you've got a lot more space to put stuff in. But the thing that's holding them back is, of course, that 250 motor, because it is just pathetic. And obviously, all the previous ones I talked about usually only come with, if you buy them in a store, like you go to Halford's, they ain't going to sell, you know, 750s or 1000 watts. You know, they're all going to be 250s. And it's just not strong enough for just everyday use. It just simply isn't. But I'd still rather, if I had the choice, and it was like, you can have a mountain bike 250, or you can have a fat tyre bike like this 250, it would be fat tyre all day long. And then next up on the list is this boy, and boys like it. So we're talking, you know, this, a NewGen 345 or a Super 73. You know, we're talking about these, talking about rad bikes as well. Rad bikes do really good ones. Just trying to think of some off the top of my head. Cooler Cub. Yeah, a fair few brands make a bike similar to this. They just look aesthetically different. Yeah, and I think this is the sweet spot, I think, between what you get and what you're paying for. As don't get me wrong, these things are not cheap. things are not cheap. If you try and get, you know, something from an established brand, you know, that has some kind of trust behind it, you're talking, you know, over £2,000, especially if you want higher than a 250 watt motor on it. And then there is the option of going down the eBay route and finding some off-branded stuff. Like I found one on eBay the other day. It was a fat tire bike like this, had a same battery but had a 1000 watt motor, and it was called a Cruise 73. You know, so if you want to take risks like that, and it was a grand, it was only a grand. And if you want to take the risk on something like that, you go ahead. But yeah, if you're going established brand, you're talking over 2 grand, maybe even over 3 grand if you're going Super 73, you know. But I think in terms of sweet spot, that's where we are at the moment. And then last but not least is the essentially modded electric motorcycle. Now I'm talking about things like a Talaria or a Surron. Because even though you're probably going, Jay, they're motorcycles. And yeah, but really, they're no more a motorcycle than this thing is. It has a throttle, I can stop pedaling if I want to. The only difference is the Surron has a bigger motor and a bigger battery. But, interestingly enough, on the Talaria and on the Surron, you can buy from them a direct pedal mod. So you can attach pedals to it and use it as a pedal assist bike. A pedal assist bike that goes 60 mile an hour, have you know? Because I'm actually subscribed to a guy on YouTube who has a Surron with pedals, who uses it as his commuter every day. And Surron especially are like the electric motorcycle. They are the ones that have kind of perfected the formula. So if you're going to perfect the formula on a motorcycle and then just pay, you know, £100 or so to just get pedals put on it, you've basically got the perfect electric vehicle, really. The only the downsides of it obviously are you're gonna attract a hell of a lot more attention because it is a motorbike with pedals on it. And secondly, Surron especially, Talaria not as much, but Surron especially are expensive. You're talking, you know, for their big baddest bike, the Storm B, you're talking £9,000 maybe. They do have cheaper bikes, but they don't really drop below the 6 grand mark. Talaria have just brought out their X3 model, which will be coming to the UK in a couple of months, which is just £3,000, and it goes and it goes about 50 mile an hour. Electric motorcycle. So I think that'll be the entry point for most people. And for people that don't know, I've heard of Surron or I've heard of Talaria, I've heard of both. Talaria is newer than Surron in terms of brand, but the people that run it are ex-Surron people who split off and wanted to start their own journey. So they're very, very similar bikes. But yeah, Talaria seem to have, for us in the UK, Talaria seem to have a lot more connections with UK dealerships because you can easily get one here from various different places. Trying to get a Surron here is a lot more difficult. But yeah, that is where I think this kind of bike sits in the current field of electric two-wheeled electric vehicles. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, guys. If you don't agree, let me know in the comments below. If you do, also let me know. Make sure to like, subscribe and all that stuff, and remember, stay awesome.